Luigi, Luigi, Luigi. You know I like you, I do, but you must be cursed or something, because you seem destined to remain in the shadow of your brother's greatness. I mean, while he spits out excellent game after excellent game, you can't even get one right, can you? No, you either get stuck with some lame educational bullshit, or you get thrown together with some half-assed annoying and just downright boring piece of nothing like this. Seriously, what is it about Luigi that prevents him from being the star of a truly great game for once? Why must he be stuck with crap like this? Now, I know what some of you are saying.
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
This is a great game! I must just not be getting it somehow, right? Well, fuck you and your bullshit, because no, it's not a great game. I don't see anything here worth getting at all excited about, and how you can is beyond me. Honestly, I really don't like this game, and since most of you probably already hate me and don't think I'm insane just for saying that, I may as well take a closer look at this thing and try to explain why. Let's enter Luigi's Mansion. First, let me just explain what this game is in case some of you don't know. As you hopefully managed to piece together on your own, Luigi's Mansion focuses on Luigi, the brother of Mario, and his exploits in a mansion. Can't say the game misleads us with the title at least. Okay, so obviously that's not the end of it. You see, apparently Luigi actually won this mansion in some sort of contest, even though he doesn't even remember entering anything like that. What? Makes sense to me. I always win stuff I didn't apply for. Why, just last week I won the jackpot in this international lottery. Oh, that reminds me, I was supposed to send them my bank account details. Don't want to forget that and miss out on all that money. Oh, that'd be stupid. Yeah, it's pretty obvious that there's something fishy about this, but whatever, it's not that big of a deal. In any case, after reaching his new mansion, Luigi discovers that it's actually haunted, and that Mario, who he was supposed to meet there, has disappeared. He also runs into a professor by the name of EGAD, who saves him from some attacking ghosts and then gives him his newest invention, the Poltergust 3000. This device, which is basically just a modified vacuum cleaner, allows Luigi to hunt down and capture the ghosts by simply sucking them up. After giving him this device and teaching him how to use it, EGAD sends Luigi back into the mansion to get rid of the ghosts and save his brother. So basically, this is a ghost hunting game where the ultimate goal is to save your missing brother. Fair enough, I guess, but am I the only one who thinks it's a bit unfair that Mario always gets to rescue a lovely young maiden while Luigi gets stuck saving his brother's fat butt? I mean, he can't hit that. Well, I guess he technically can, but... Ugh. Either way, the story is adequate enough, I guess, but it's nothing all that special. It doesn't really need to be special, but yeah, it's just okay at best. I will admit that the game at least looks pretty good though. The overall quality of the graphics are pretty excellent, and there's a lot of nice touches throughout the mansion. I also like the design of most of the ghosts and the fact that they've actually given most of them some fairly decent background stories. However, some of them are actually really depressing when you think about it. Just look at this one, for example. At first you may think, okay, so it's a baby, what about it? But just say that again. It's a baby. A ghost baby. Basically, the spirit or soul or what have you of a dead fucking baby. What? It's just a dead baby? That's not the least bit depressing. In fact, I find it charming. He's just so cute. Oh, okay, so I might be overthinking this a bit, as it's probably just supposed to be a fun or interesting boss fight or whatever, and they don't exactly go into details of this baby's death or anything, but still, there's not really any way to make the idea of a dead fucking baby sound good. Still, like I said, at least the ghost designs are fun and varied, at least for the most part, but that's pretty much where the good parts of this game stop. No, really, I can't think of that much else about it I like all that much. Take the music, for instance. Now, I'll admit, it's not terrible, but am I really the only one who gets sick to death of hearing this one fucking theme being played throughout the entire fucking game? Again, it's not like the theme is all that bad, but how about some variety here? You really couldn't come up with anything else? Hell, even when there's technically no music, you still decide to have Luigi whistle this same tune or have the ghosts make noises in the style of it? Just change the fucking track already! Seriously, this tune has become the fucking soundtrack to my nightmares, because once it starts, it never, ever stops. In fact, I'm pretty certain it's replaced a fairly big part of my vocabulary. What? Either way, it would have been nice with a bit more musical variety, but at least it's a decent enough tune. Besides, the most important part of any game is the gameplay, right? If the game plays well enough, who cares about the music? Well, that's where this game fails completely, because the gameplay fucking sucks. Literally. Like I mentioned earlier, the basic gist of the game is to search around the mansion for a bunch of ghosts and suck them up with a modified vacuum cleaner. This may sound decent enough, and I will admit that it's not all bad, but holy hell is it tedious! I'm serious, this game is just so fucking repetitive and formulaic that it ends up becoming more of a chore than anything else. Okay, so I admit that it can be fun at times, but for the most part you're doing the exact same thing over and over and over again, and if anything, it actually becomes less and less varied as the game progresses. Honestly, I don't know how they fucked this up, but unlike most other games I've ever played, here they actually remove more and more elements as you go along. Did they just forget how games are supposed to work or something? Okay, so maybe I should explain what I mean. You see, although you do eventually get a few more functions added onto your Poltergust, like the ability to shoot out fire, water or ice from it in order to deal with enemies or items of the opposing elements, you only end up using these functions a few times. The enemy variety also dwindles the further you get, as you eventually get stuck just hunting down boos that all look and act the exact same way. The thing is that while you initially hunt for a relatively wide and varied number of ghosts with vastly different designs and in some cases different strategies and attacks, they eventually become fewer and fewer in numbers, only leaving behind a bunch of boos. Okay, so this is somewhat expected seeing as the whole point of the game is to hunt down and capture these ghosts, but it still becomes really boring to go after the exact same type of enemy again and again and again, especially when they're as annoying as these fuckers are. Maybe I need to explain the game mechanics a bit more before we go any further though. As I mentioned, the primary mechanic is sucking up ghosts, but I didn't really explain how you do this. You see, you can't just find a ghost and start sucking, no, you have to stun the ghost first. How? Well, by surprising them with a quick burst of light from your flashlight. If done correctly, this will, as mentioned, stun the ghost and reveal their hearts, which you need to quickly start sucking up by pressing the right trigger button. While doing so, you also have to tilt the C-stick in the opposite direction of the one the ghost is heading, which will lower its health, eventually causing it to be captured. Sometimes you may have to do a few other things as well, like blast the ghost with some ice or suck away their shield or something, but the main steps are always the same. Now, all of this may sound alright, and it isn't exactly the worst thing in the world or anything, but fuck me is it annoying! You see, the thing is that while these mechanics technically work, they just don't work that smoothly. I mean, you can almost never get any of these ghosts in a single attack. They constantly escape your grip, forcing you to start this whole process again and again and again and again, and it just gets so unbelievably frustrating. Okay, so you at least get to start with the ghost's health at the point it left off when you lost them, but still, this just gets incredibly tedious. Even the few enemies that you usually can suck up in one go end up becoming incredibly annoying. I mean, why are there so many fucking mice, bats, or other fairly insignificant ghost types all over the place? It's not like they really add all that much in terms of challenge or enjoyment, they just get in the way. Fair enough, you don't really have to scoop them up, and once in a while they may drop some money or health or something, but that happens so rarely that it's just not worth it. The absolute worst ones though have to be the fucking boos. Okay, so I'll admit that the idea behind them is decent enough, and they're not really the most difficult things to deal with or anything, but they're just so fucking infuriating. Seriously, you have not experienced frustration until you've dealt with these fuckers. I would rather deal with actual ghosts in my actual house for the rest of my life than spend one more second with these annoying sperm balls. You see, the boos are technically the main villains of this game, or at least the leader of them, King Boo, is. I don't think you actually have to fight every last one of them, but you at least have to get a certain amount, or you won't get access to the final boss of the game. The thing is though, that while the capturing process is pretty much the same for these boos, it's still a bit different. First of all, you need to actually find the boos. In order to do so, you have to get the lights back on in the various rooms of the mansion by clearing them of the other ghosts. After doing so, your boo radar, indicated by a flashing light and beeping sound on your Game Boy Horror, will begin flashing. The faster it blinks and beeps, the closer you are to the object the boo is hiding in, and once you touch that object, the boo will reveal itself. Once the boo is out in the open, you simply have to start sucking it up. You don't need to stun it, and you don't even need to tilt the C-stick, you only have to suck it in. However, this is nowhere near as easy or straightforward as it sounds. The thing is that unlike all the other ghosts, you don't really lock onto the boos once you start sucking them in. This makes it pretty easy to lose hold of them, but that's far from the worst of it. You see, while you're trying to capture them, the boos are still free to move around as normal, even being able to fly through the walls, floors, or ceilings, meaning that you'll constantly have to chase them from room to room in order to capture them. This can actually get really ridiculous at times, as you can get stuck going back and forth between two rooms, spending anything from 5 minutes to half an hour or more simply trying to capture this one fucking boo. Oh, that's just great. Fucking great. This is exactly how you improve a game, right? You shouldn't try to make it enjoyable, convenient, or fun, no. That would actually make it good, and we wouldn't want that now, would we? Other than that, I honestly don't know what else to say. Okay, so there are some other elements in this game, like collecting money and gems and such, but there really isn't that much else to discuss here. Maybe that's partially because this game is pretty short, but I also think it has to do with just how repetitive it is. Seriously, this is just a boring routine of doing the exact same thing over and over and over again in pretty much the exact same way every single time. Even the boss fights, which are the only segments where the game starts feeling a little bit varied, start to become kind of boring after a while. That's actually how I would sum up this game. It's boring. Yeah, I think the concept is pretty good and it can be a little bit enjoyable at times, but for the most part, it's just a tedious grind and a wasted opportunity. This could have been a good game, but the mechanics simply aren't executed properly, and overall, it just feels lackluster at best. Also, I don't really see a reason for Luigi to be in this game at all. No, really, wouldn't this have been a perfect opportunity for Nintendo to actually make a brand new IP for once? Just remove Luigi, Mario, and the Boos, possibly replace them with something else, leave the rest as is and call it Egad's Ghostly Adventures or something. Why wouldn't that work? Well, we all know why it wouldn't work, don't we? Because it wouldn't have sold a single copy. The only reason people picked up this game is because it had Luigi in it, and you're just kidding yourself if you say otherwise. All in all, I just couldn't recommend this to anyone. Not if they want to enjoy themselves anyway. Either way, I think I need a bit of a pick-me-up after this, and wouldn't you know it, the holidays are almost here. That means that it's time to take a look at some games related to one of the greatest Christmas films ever created.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Wow, that was one spectacular video you just saw, wasn't it? Well, guess what? Now you can help make future episodes even better. I know, doesn't seem possible, right? Well, it's true. Simply click on the link to my Patreon page, select the amount you want to donate, and click Become a Patron. By doing this, you will not only allow me to increase my liquor budget, make the show better, but you'll also be able to collect several wonderful rewards, such as access to exclusive videos, your name in the credits, your choice of topic for a video, magical powers, immortality, and much, much more. Well, what are you waiting for? Follow the link, make your donation, and become a patron today.